To protect her identity, I'm going to call her Emma. Emma had my number saved for a year. She was referred by her assistant. Of course, they always know first, but she never reached out. Until the day she yelled at her blender. Not her assistant for a change, not her partner, not her kid, a blender. Because the smoothie wouldn't blend fast enough, because her phone was blowing up, because she hadn't slept properly in 3 months, and something in her brain just snapped. That was the tipping point. That's when she messaged me. Emma's message said, "Do you work with people who scream at appliances?" I said yes. And that's how we started her microdosing protocol. Emma didn't need a personality overhaul. She needed a system reset, not to sedate her, not to fix her mood, but to retrain her nervous system. What you're watching is a part of a series based on the world's only legal Amanita microdosing guide, built on clinical insight, client results, and real-world application. You can purchase the full guide on our site or get it for free with most product bundles from Unidelics. In this chapter, I'll walk you through what microdosing actually is, how it works in your brain, and why it might be the first real shift you've felt in a long time. I'm Tatiana Voloshin. I spent 2 decades as an executive recruiter on Wall Street, working with top-tier hedge funds and global investment firms. Today, I run Unidelics, a career lab for ambitious people who are too smart to climb the Everest of the corporate ladder alone. I'm probably the only career coach who works with functional mushrooms, breathwork, and actual nervous system tools, not just pep talks and productivity hacks. Because once your nervous system recalibrated, the real work, strategic thinking, clear decisions, actual progress, finally becomes possible. Otherwise, we're just rearranging furniture in a burning house. This is why with Emma, we didn't start with strategy. We started with microdosing. Because when your system is stuck in a survival mode, you can't plan, you can't focus, and you definitely cannot make meaningful career decisions. So let me walk you through what microdosing actually is, how Amanita works in the brain, and why, no matter how high functioning you are, this might be the thing that shifts everything. Your first 2 weeks are not about epiphanies. They're about sleeping better, reacting less, and starting to feel a little more solid. That's how the real change begins, quietly. And once your system stabilizes, that's when strategy actually starts working. So, what is microdosing? It means taking a tiny sub-perceptual amount of a substance, small enough that you don't feel high, but just enough to gently support your brain and nervous system. With Amanita muscaria, a standard psychoactive dose starts at about 10 grams. That's about twice as much as it would take with psilocybin mushrooms. But in microdosing, we're not chasing visuals or hallucinations. We're taking about 0.5 gram in the morning and 0.5 gram in the evening. That's less than 1/20th of a full dose. Gentle, consistent, grounding. And unlike psilocybin, Amanita doesn't stack. It clears from your body in about 8 hours, which is why 1 dose in the morning is not enough. You need that second dose at night to keep your system steady, not high, just regulated. Now, not everyone responds the same way. I work with people who need 3 or 4 grams just to sleep. And I work with people, usually highly sensitive women, who feel a shift from just half a capsule, 1/4 gram. Emma, by the way, was one of the sensitive ones. 0.5 gram, and she was already leveling out. So, if you're not feeling anything at first, it doesn't mean it's not working. And if you feel too much, it doesn't mean you've rocked something. This is not about chasing a feeling. It's about retraining a system. How does Amanita work in the brain? Amanita does not flood your brain with chemicals. It works with a part of your nervous system called the GABA system. GABA is like your brain's natural brake pedal. When it's working well, it says, "Hey, we're not in danger. You can slow down now." Most of us live with our foot stuck on the gas. Emails, deadlines, pressure. Fight or flight system that stays on all the time. Microdosing Amanita gently activates GABA, which tells your system, it's okay, you can pause, you can think, you can breathe. So in the morning, it gives you focus, because your brain is not in a panic loop. At night, it helps you sleep because you're no longer running from imaginary tigers. You're not sedated, you're not stimulated, you're just regulated. Like tuning a piano that's been out of key for years. And once your system is tuned, you'll be shocked how fast your brain, your sleep, and your career come back online. That's when we actually start working on the real stuff. If you're ready, the starting protocol is on our product page at Unidelics. Everything you need to begin is there. I'm Tatiana Voloshin, and this is what we do here. Nervous system first, strategy second. Always.